Welcome to our latest video. Today we're exploring a powerful and hopeful topic: God's new path for your life. This idea connects to faith and the belief that God can guide us toward new directions, opportunities, and growth in life. Let's dive into what this means, how God might lead us to new paths, and ways to be open to God's guidance. Understanding God's new path. From a spiritual perspective, God's new path for your life suggests that God is actively involved in guiding us toward paths that align with His plan. This belief can bring hope, direction, and peace to those who trust in God's guidance. It implies God can lead us to new opportunities, healing, or growth, even when we're unsure of the way. How God guides to new paths. Through Scripture, the Bible shows God guiding people like Abraham, Moses, and David to new paths. Through prayer can help discern God's direction for your life. Through circumstances, God can guide through life's circumstances and changes. Through inner peace, God can bring peace about decisions aligning with His path. Benefits of following God's new path. Peace in uncertainty. Trusting God's path can bring peace in uncertain times. Growth and opportunities. God's path can lead to growth and new opportunities. Alignment with God's plan. Following God's path aligns you with His greater plan. Deeper faith. Trusting God's path can deepen your faith. Biblical examples of God's guidance. Abraham's journey. God led Abraham to a new land. Paul's mission. God guided Paul to spread the gospel to the Gentiles. Jesus' teachings. Jesus spoke of following God's will for guidance. David's life. God guided David through challenges to become king. How to be open to God's new path. Prayer and seeking. Seek God's guidance through prayer. Reading Scripture. Find guidance in the Bible. Trust in God's plan. Trust that God leads to what's best. Seek counsel. Seek counsel from those with faith. Overcoming fears and doubts. Fears or doubts about following God's new path can arise. Ways to overcome. Trust in God's goodness. Trust God has a good plan. Prayer for clarity. Ask for clarity in prayer. Support from faith community. Get support from those with similar faith. Reflect on past guidance. Remember times God guided you. Living out God's new path. Step out in faith. Take steps trusting God leads. Be open to change. Be open to changes God guides toward. Gratitude for guidance. Be grateful for God's guidance. Stay connected to God. Stay connected through prayer and Scripture. Thanks for watching. If you like this video on God's new path for your life, hit that like button, comment below with your thoughts on faith and guidance, and subscribe for more content like this. Don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss our next video.